Hey, welcome to Fit Dad, Fit Mom Q&A for May 11th, 2023. And I think this topic's super important tonight. It's multifaceted. The coaches and I have had some conversations with through the course. Hold on one second. Hey, Kara, there you go, brother. So the coaches and I have had some conversations with clients coming up this week where there's been some concepts, in my opinion, that should be known or better known than where they're at. And it kind of just, there was a couple of them that came up. I'm thinking, you know what, we need to address this a little bit in a way where we have a recording of it so people can kind of go back and take a look at some of these things. So the topic tonight is called, what are the key concepts that people are confused about regarding their long-term fitness goals that will prevent them from hitting, number one, or maintaining their goals? All right. And so these concepts, I think, are key things that I want to kind of go a little bit more in depth on. Number one, daily weight fluctuations and how we actually lose a pound or gain a pound. All right. This concept we talk a lot about in the beginning. And for some reason, there's a barrier. All right. And I think the concept is there's 3,500 calories that equate to 1 pound. So if you somehow add 3,500 calories, I don't care if that's over a week, a month, or a day, you're going to gain a pound. If you somehow eliminate 3,500 calories, you're going to lose a pound, all right, over whatever time frame that would be. All right, so when people get on a scale and they're like, oh my gosh, I gained a pound, not so much, okay? It's kind of like you did not eat 3,500 calories over your TDEE. All right, so you'd have to take your TDEE, whatever that is, come up to your TDEE, and you're all in a caloric deficit, and then you'd have to have another 3,500 calories on top of that to gain 1 pound. It's the math, just science, all right? And flip side of that coin is that over the course of a period of time, if you can somehow remove 3,500 calories over whatever period of time it is, you are going to lose a pound. All right, so you're starting to kind of get the gist here. If you go to Costco and you eat 200 calories there and 300 calories here and 150 there and a little taste of this, oh my gosh, that's so good, and a little pat of butter on my peas, not just my baked potato, and all of a sudden 3,500 calories can become a reality. And you think you're doing all of these things for your calorie reduction, but in essence, you're killing your result. All right, they add up. Calories add up. Flip side of the coin, and calories add up. Let me stay on this side of the coin first. Here's the problem. Like, we'll talk to somebody on a Monday morning, and they're like, they had a bad weekend. Like they, went to the barbecue at the neighbor's house on Saturday night, thinking that I know it's going to be a bad day, but it's Saturday, and I'm going to go over to the neighbor's house, and we're going to do a barbecue, and you live it up. And something spontaneously comes up on Sunday. Someone comes in with some pizza, or whatever, something you weren't anticipating, and you decide to have the pizza, okay? And you know damn well that you're over your calories. You don't even know how much, because the type of food you're eating, you really don't know how many calories you're taking, all right? And then you get on the scale Monday, and you're like, there's no movement. And you're like, dang, I might as well do this every weekend. Like, why do I work so hard sometimes during the week, and a pound comes on me in a day, and I just had a pretty bad weekend, and I lost, or I stayed the same weight? What's the story with this? Okay, and we heard this, we just heard this, okay, from someone that's probably 10 weeks in the program. All right, so what happens is you do not immediately have a result like we just talked about from calories going in the pie hole. All right, they're cumulative. Like all of a sudden, what you did 4, 3, 4, 2, 5, 6 days ago is going to tabulate later in the week. It's not a 24-hour cycle where all of a sudden these calories are out of there. So what you did 2, 3, 4 days ago is going to catch up with you. It works both ways. It works when you go to the neighbor's house on a Monday, on a Saturday and a Sunday, and you have the pizza on the Sunday, you blew it out on Saturday, you get up on Monday and you're like, not so bad. And then you get real restricted with yourself on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Wednesday you gain 1.5 pounds. And you're like, what the heck? It's from the weekend. It's catching up with you. All right. And everybody has this lag, and everybody's associating the lag with the fact of what is my result on the scale today. This is depressing. All right. And this is confusing. And this gets people like, man, I don't even know why I'm doing this. Look how great I was for the last 3 days. And I gained 1.5 pounds. What's this? Or 2 pounds. Okay. No, it's what you did at Joe's house on Saturday and then Sunday, and what you did on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday to rectify it. Oh, it'll come, but it'll come maybe on Friday. All right. And people do not understand this lagging indicator. They don't understand calories overall cumulatively, how damaging not understanding what's coming in here on a daily basis can be if you're consistent with snacking, or you're going to Costco twice a week and you are partaking in the samples. I love talking about it because it's what I do. I partake in the samples at Costco. I love it. I do. But I also know how to not let myself derail from that and tabulate them and put them into my daily caloric, or make up for them tomorrow. Okay. I'm not waiting to make up for them, or I'm not tabulating them. I pretty much know what they are. All right. But if you're walking through Costco thinking a little bite here, this isn't going to hurt. Someone's making dinner and it's not quite ready, and you're taking a little bite, and then someone's making some chocolate chip cookies and you break one off and you eat it. All of these little things are cumulative and they add up. All right. So if you're plateaued, or if you're like, man, I don't know why I thought I was really good and I gained something, and you really did gain it. The only way it can be is you ate too many calories. And somewhere the tracking, somewhere the lack of tracking, somewhere the lag is hurting you as far as what the scale is showing today. Does this make sense to everybody? And Matt, is there anything you'd add to that? Because I know this is your probably biggest frustration point when he's talking someone off the ledge and he's like, why are you a 6 on a mood meter? Well, I did all this in the last 2 days, and they're using the mood meter as a battering ram for what the weight's showing, even though there's a dang good reason the weight's where it is. So Matt, what would you want to add to that? Anything?
Yeah, I would. What I usually get, Chuck, is somebody will message me and say, dude, I had pizza yesterday and I'm down 1.5 pounds today. So I'm guessing the key to this is just eat pizza every day. And then by Thursday, they're like, holy crap, I'm up 2 pounds. What happened? Well, it finally caught up with us. And Chuck, to your point about going to Costco, I did a little test on myself. We were in Galveston, and we went to an event that was called Galveston. At the top 60 restaurants in Galveston, all in the convention center, and they all had their specialties that you could get samplings of. Now, knowing that this is what I do for a living, there were 60 different vendors. I made it to 30. I didn't make it to all of them. I made it halfway through the building. But every time I would get a sample, I'd go back to the table and I would write it down. So Debbie and I were partaking of these little samples, and they were little 1 ounce little samples. By the time the evening was over, it was about 2 hours long. I'd made it through 60 vendors. I calculated I had 2,200 calories in little 1 ounce little samples, 1 ounce little samples. 2,200 calories. I was shocked. I mean, I was literally, it was awesome. I totally enjoyed 200 calories. What Chuck is talking about, I always talk about when we're babysitting the grandkids, I pick up the plate from Lila. I'm walking into the kitchen. She's got 2 chicken nuggets left on the plate. I don't want to throw it in the trash. Pop, pop. I pick up Logan's plate. He's got a half a dozen French fries left on his plate. I don't want to throw them in the trash. Pop, 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 pop. I eat those. All of a sudden, I've just consumed 350 calories that I wasn't tracking, I wasn't thinking about. But to Chuck's point, cumulatively, they add up drastically. So that's my own experience.
2,200 calories. Plus, you go to an Asian restaurant on a Friday, and it's like, oh my God, water retention, salt, sodium. The only way you go up 4 to 5 pounds in a day, which I've done, and I've lost 5 in a day, is because of water retention. And maybe it's me not staying hydrated, and all of a sudden I hydrate, and then my body releases the water because it's able to, and not having to retain it because I'm dehydrated. So these are all things around the scale, which is why really when you get out of the program, you will weigh once a week. You're not going to weigh every day. The reason we have you weigh every day is so we can have this conversation we're having right now with you. We want you to see how your body reacts to Asian food, how it responds to Joe's barbecue on a Friday, Saturday night and having pizza on a Sunday, or maybe having pizza on one day and you lose the weight. We want you to see these things and experience them day to day to realize how stupid and ludicrous it is to weigh every day. So why do we weigh every day? Obviously, what you focus on, you attain, number one, and we want you to learn these lessons. When you get out of the program, you will weigh once a week. And you're going to kind of know when you get on that scale, okay, I think it might be a little bit ugly. All right. Or you're going to kind of just know based on how the week went. All right. But weighing more than once a week when you get savvy on this and you're out of the program, it's kind of crazy. And I know initially when you get out, you're going to probably keep doing it but as you go on, it's going to become one of those things where once a week you're going to get on. I need to be more restricted this week. I'm 1.5 pounds off. I need to get back on the scale. I need to get back on the treadmill a little bit, be a little restricted this week to get back in alignment so that I'm back in the game when I get on the scale next week. Okay. So any other questions on the daily weight fluctuations? Super important mental sanity check for you. Don't give a rat's butt about daily fluctuations. I care what you did 3 or 4 days ago. I care about your snacking. I care about Asian food. I care about whole foods versus conglomerations of chicken, paprikash and Hungarian goulash, which you have no idea what's on them, the sauces, all of these things we're talking about. Okay, they make it very difficult to truly know. But I know one thing, the scale once a week, if you went up in weight, you jacked yourself up on calories. It's as simple as that. To the tune of 3,500 calories for a pound, and everything after that's 3,500, 35 plus times 2 for 2 pounds, okay? So these concepts are super important to understand the science behind it. All right, any other questions on any of this with this before I go on to the next point? Does this make sense to everybody?
Yeah, Chuck, I did want to say that you talk about paprikash so much that I went and found a recipe and I made it. And, the one I had was very healthy, except, it has the sour cream in it. But I couldn't figure out why you've been saying it's not good for you.
It's not that it's not good for you. It's hard to calculate. Like the way my wife makes it, her mother is directly from Hungary. Okay. She's a Hungarian heritage. And they have the dumplings and they got the sauce and they got everything. They got a lot of sour cream. They got the extra fat they put in.
Okay.
And it's absolutely amazing. And when they make it, it's not like some generic washed down version of paprikash. It's one of my favorite meals, is why I talk about it. And I don't talk about it as being something that's not good for you. It's hard to track in calories. So if I'm going to eat chicken paprikash, I'm preparing for it the day before if I can. A lot of times my mother-in-law would show up and have it on the day. I'm like, oh my God, I'm doing a fast today. Why do you have paprikash? And obviously my fast was over and I ate the paprikash. Okay. So that is what I'm talking about when I talk about chicken paprikash. All right. And Matt's point, don't miss Matt's point. That little snacking thing, oh my gosh, it's devastating the calories. It's devastating. And it opens you up to mistakes. Okay. So the more you're eating throughout a bigger eating window, which we're going to talk about, the more chances for mistakes. But the big thing, fluctuations in your weight day to day, I don't care about. I care what you did the day before. I care what you did 3 days before. And I care what are you going to do in the next couple of days to bring it back in alignment, whether it be hydration, okay, whether it be I got to make up some calories from what I just did for the last 3 days or whatever it is. All right. Number 2 concept, eating when you're not hungry. Eating when you're not hungry. Okay, what do I mean by that? Like everybody says this. They're like, well, you know what? And it's early on, usually in the program, but they're like, you know what? I got a busy day and I'm super busy in the afternoon. So if I don't eat at like 10:30, I might not get to eat till 2:30 or dinner. And so they're eating when they're not hungry, preventatively trying not to be hungry later in the day. This is not unusual. This is a concept we all think about. We all are like, okay, now, first of all, think about our bodies. Think about how God designed our bodies. God designed our bodies to be okay for quite a while without food. People don't understand it. There's probably 70,000 calories in a very lean person that your body can access. So think about what I just said. 3,500 calories equate to a pound. you probably got an extra 70,000 calories in your body for a lean person. There's plenty of sustenance here. So we are so accustomed to the routines of what we do in this day and age. It's why everybody's fat, and it's why everybody is not healthy, because our bodies were never meant to operate by thinking, oh my God, it's 10:30 and I'm not going to be able to eat till 2:30 or 5 o'clock. It's like back in the 1800s, they didn't even know if they would eat for the day. It depended what they hunt and did they kill something? And I guess we're not eating today as a family, so we're going to eat tomorrow. This is the way our bodies were designed through history. So the whole concept of not eating when you're hungry is just something I want to talk about. Okay, so I guess the challenge to you would be, if you're not used to it and you got a lot of routines that are hardwired into your brain, like my wife used to think, oh my God, I'm going to be really, I'm not going to feel good if I don't eat like by 9 a.m. She used to think that. And she didn't feel good because her body had all kinds of issues that it wasn't speaking properly to her because of a multitude of reasons of what she was doing to her body. But it wasn't because she was starving. It wasn't because the body's like, oh, red alert, man, you don't have any food in you. You're going to have a light head. Or you're not going to feel good. Or you're going to get sick. It's from a multitude of other things. All right. So understand, like, when you are coming in this program, which leads into concept number 3, a misunderstanding of the water test. A misunderstanding of what the heck is the water test. All right. And why do we do the water test in this program? And we do the water test for one reason. Okay, we do it so that we are teaching you how to notice what a craving is from a hunger. Quite different. Craving versus a hunger versus pre-planning, because maybe you won't be able to eat later, so I better eat now so I have sustenance. All of those. They all fall in the same category. All right, so the concept is God designed us to eat when we are hungry. If you truly do that and your body's truly operating at a level, when I say operating at a level, I mean organically, hormonally, it's speaking properly to you, you're going to be less hungry than the first week when you came in this program, because of all the things you were doing to jack up your hormones and everything else, and psychologically, not having routines, bad concepts that are in our heads, being trained by our mother that you got to eat, or your grandmother. You don't eat this, all these things that we were, wired with, hardwired as kids. These things really derail people, these thought processes. All right. So eating when you're hungry is one of the key things we want to teach you in this program. But more importantly, we want you to be hungry based on your body truly telling you you're hungry and not a craving. So the water test is so important because we're not ever telling you what your non-eating window should be. I don't care what your non-eating window is. I truly don't. I care what your body tells you for the place you are in your journey, what your non-eating window is. That's what I care about. Organically, not striving, in an 8 to 10 mood meter. This is the water test, truly. So the water test, all it is a trigger so that all of this stuff we just talked about, this minutia that goes through our heads about what we think about eating and strategies, and I'm going to be starving and all of these things, the water test is a trigger to test what I'm saying to you. It's one thing for me to say it to you. It's another thing for you to experience it physiologically. The water test is a trigger. I like triggers. Okay, I know what to do. I got this problem. Here's what I'm doing. I think I might get in a fight with my wife. I need to shut up. Shut up. Shut up. No matter what happens, I'll say anything. You're not allowed to say anything for the next 5 minutes. That's a trigger. It's a smart trigger. It's like, okay, this is going to at least prevent all kinds of stuff. And so that's a trigger. Same thing. There's no difference. So there's certain things we have weaknesses that we need a trigger for. All right. So this is a trigger, the water test. I'm hungry. I'm new in the program. I'm used to eating at 9 a.m. every day. I've been doing it since I've been 10 years old. And you know what? I think I'm hungry. It's 9 o'clock. I do a water test. I drink, 16 ounces of water, wait 30, 40 minutes. And if I'm still hungry after the delay, I'm going to eat. If I'm not, I'm going to do another water test when I think I'm hungry again. Why are we doing this? It's a trigger. It forces you to kind of delay a little bit. Your body starts recognizing what you're doing, and all of a sudden your body likes what you're doing. You get rewarded for good behavior. You get rewarded for not having instant gratification. Do we not? Matt and I always talk about nothing ever good happened in my life with instant gratification. I got in so much damn trouble with instant gratification. Ain't nothing good ever happened in my life with instantaneous gratification. It's all bad. He knows it. And you know what? And he uses it against us. So the more you can delay, like me saying, 5 minutes, shut your mouth. And that's me going to the devil. Screw you, baby. You ain't coming into my family tonight. And we're not going to get into a fight because Chuck used the trigger to shut the hell up. And the more I do it, then it becomes more of an automatic response. Well, physiologically with your body, when you do the water test, okay, basically your body starts recognizing, thinking, you know what? Gigi is, it's 10 o'clock and she's not eating. Holy cow, her insulin's been at baseline for an hour longer than normal for the last 35 years. She kept her insulin at baseline. This is a good thing. We're going to reward Gigi, and we're going to reward Gigi because her ghrelin level is going to stay low also, which is her hunger hormone. We're going to make it easier for Gigi because she's doing the right thing. No immediate gratification for Gigi. All right. And you know what else we're going to do for Gigi? We're going to keep her leptin level high and elevated, which is your satiation hormone, because Gigi deserves it because she's not instantly gratifying herself. And the longer and more consistent you do this water test, the more your body falls in love with what you're doing and starts speaking beautiful music to you about when you should eat and when you shouldn't eat, what the heck is a craving versus a real hunger, and you start differentiating. And most people don't even know how to talk about this. They don't even know this exists. And it's sad because we're so pre-wired with so many things. All right, so far we talked about daily weight fluctuations, what they are, what they aren't, what you got to be worried about, and what you should be focused on. We talked about number 2, when eating when you're not hungry, which tied into number 3, understanding the water test. Any questions on any of that so far before I move on to the next topic? Is this making sense to everybody? Ryan, this making sense to you, man? You're a rookie, dude. How you doing? Welcome to your first Q&A, bro. Okay, this needs to make sense to you. This is super important. What I just said so far, those 2 things, super important concepts. They need to become part of who you are and how you treat your body. Super important concepts. Okay, sure there's no questions on any of that. Okay, number 4, flexibility. Flexibility, which equates to mood meters being in 8 to 10s. The most important thing you're doing in this program is staying in an 8 to 10 mood meter. The most important thing you're doing is staying in an 8 to 10 mood meter. And if you're not, then you need to be honest. All right. Because here's how it works with our psyches and our bodies. Flexibility is a really cool thing. Flexibility. What do I mean by flexibility? Like sometimes we're in a slight caloric deficit and we're just chugging along. We're just kind of like living life and it's slight. And we're kind of like taking it off like slow, maybe a pound a week, even maybe a half a pound a week. I don't know, depending on where you're at. All right. And then there's a more aggressive caloric deficit where maybe you're taking it off at 1.5 to 2 pounds a week and you're clicking along. Maybe there's Chuck making up for what he did at Joe's barbecue on Saturday and the pizza on Sunday where I'm flat out fasting. Flat out fasting. That's restrictive. That's restriction. All right, but I'm making up for the fun and flexibility I had 2 days ago. All right, and so there's and then there's a maintenance level. There's a maintenance level, and I don't even care, even if you're in a fat loss phase. Even if you're in a fat loss phase, there's many people that went through Christmas and they maybe lost a pound over a 3-week period only, but they didn't gain 10. They did not gain 10 like they did last year and the year before and the year before and the year before. All right, maintenance is not a bad thing depending on what's happening in your life. When summer hits, okay, and the patio's open and the umbrella tables come out and the margaritas are flowing, I don't really feel like being in a caloric deficit. I don't. I'm willing to give up a little bit for the flexibility to have the fun that I want to have, because you know what? In the fall, I can be a little bit more restrictive if I really, really want to be. The clothes are coming back on. There's not as many people looking at you. You're not on the beach with your gut hanging over. Okay, we're not having to put your bikini on and you're worried. All right. And so don't misconstrue what I'm saying. I'm saying that life ebbs and flows. It ebbs and flows. You need to understand you're going to ebb and flow. There's nothing wrong with maintenance. I talked to a few people in this program that had all kinds of issues happen in their life. They had all kinds of stress, and they just maintained for 6 weeks. Now, because of the stress, we're so nice in this program, we actually paused the program, okay? Because we don't want you to take something you paid for when you're looking for fat loss and lose it. But when they come back off the stress and they're like, you know what? I didn't gain a pound. I didn't lose a pound. And under the stress that I was under, it's amazing I didn't gain all kinds of weight. And I still controlled things. I wasn't doing what I wanted to do, but in fact, they did do what they were supposed to do because they maintained. Maintenance is not a bad thing. Maintenance is a strategy sometimes. Cameron up there, Cameron's out of the program right now. Cameron's going to have this more severe in his psyche about when is maintenance and when is not maintenance. If Matt's going to Cabo for 2 weeks, you think Matt's going to be in maintenance mode, or you think Matt's going to be in a severe caloric restriction, meaning 1 point. When I say severe, I mean 1.5 to 2 pounds a week. That's severe to me. Okay. Pseudo severe is like 1 pound a week, maybe, or less, because you're still in a deficit, but not as bad, versus maintenance. Why would you ever go on vacation and want to be in a caloric deficit? Are you crazy? That's not fun. I have no desire to do that. All right. Now I'm going to prepare before I go on vacation. And I'm also going to do whatever I got to do after the vacation on that first topic we talked about tonight, which was calories and what is a pound gain versus a pound. And how do we look at calories and how do we look at weight gain over a sliding scale? Okay. I'm going to look at all of that. But when I'm on vacation, I'm doing what I want. If I want to eat the whole piece of cheesecake, I'm eating the whole piece of cheesecake. All right. I'm not going to be like, I don't want to do that. Okay. So, but hopefully I prepared myself for that vacation to not hurt myself too bad, but I'm going to hurt myself on vacation because I'm going to eat a little abnormal, but I'm going to also be right back in the game a week after vacation. I'll be right back in the saddle. I will be right back in the saddle kicking like this because my lack of flexibility on vacation led to having more stringency and restriction after. This is called life. There's no fantasy about this. Some things are going to be restricted, some things are not. Some things are going to be maintenance. Hey, we're going to back off this a little bit. All right. Which leads us to the 2-day rule. If you ever have 2 days in a row in this program where you actually are out of whack, other than some weird spontaneous thing like going to Joe's barbecue and somebody showed up with the best pizza ever on Sunday, it can happen. Happened to me. You know what? Monday's not going to be a fun day for you. And if Monday's a fun day for you or even a normal day, shame on you. Gain some weight. You deserve it. Put some fat on. That's what you're going to get. So it's all about restriction, slight restriction, a little more severe restriction, maintenance. This is a thought process that leads us to sustainability over the long course of what we're trying to do here, which is what we commit to you is that you're 100 years old and you can do this till you're 100. All of these concepts. Does this make sense to everybody? Okay. So flexibility. You build it in. Sometimes I'm flat out fasting because that's super restriction. Sometimes I'm doing it spiritually. Sometimes it has nothing to do. Usually fasting has nothing to do other than spiritually for me, or I'm making up calories that I know that, dude, you're a bad boy and your body's not speaking right to you and your body needs to get reset. So those are the reasons that I would fast. Okay. Number 5, working out. And it came up on this call just before. I think I busted Gilbert's chops on this. And he said, he goes, yeah, I did all this, but I just walked 8 million steps. Now, this is a dude that's been around the program for quite a while, but in his head somewhere, the steps are something they're thinking, okay, somehow I did something. You didn't do squat for yourself with the steps. You didn't do nothing. All right. It's all what comes in the pie hole, and it's reducing your calories by 3,500 if you gained a pound. And, and all these concepts that we teach you. So working out, what's it for? It's for your metabolism, like we talked about. How does it affect your metabolism? Okay, like when you have more lean body mass on you, your BMR goes up. You burn through more calories because, you'll burn through more calories having lean body mass on you than you do fat. So that's a good thing. It's a good reason to be in the gym. Okay, but before you're thinking along me increasing my metabolism by being in the gym, let's get the fat off you and start working on what we need to do initially in this program to get you to that maintenance point where you can at least be here a little bit higher, a little low, maintenance, all the stuff we just talked about. All right. But yes, you should have a concept where I need to put more lean body mass on me because it will help me to actually burn more calories. There's reality to that concept. All right, there's reality to that. So you want more lean body mass as you go through this, or as you start stripping fat, and you can't put on more lean body mass unless you're in a caloric surplus or pretty close to your TDEE. So it's a concept that is a little later. There's nothing wrong with maintaining, though, when you're in this program. Would I be doing push-ups in this program? Damn right. Would I be using weights in this program? You're damn right. Would I be trying to maintain and get strength and flexibility? You're damn right. I'd be doing all that. So I'm preparing myself as I feel better on my journey and the fat's coming off to kind of hammer it at the tail end and say, okay, game on. Let's roll. Let's put some lean body mass on by 2 to 3 pounds. And now let's even help myself more as I get out of the program and I'm burning through more calories at a rested rate. Okay, would I use the thermic effective food at that time? Yeah, I would. Thermic effective food is a real thing. Thermic effective food, just as a quick recap, is your macronutrients. We don't talk about macronutrients very much in this program because macronutrients derail people, make them really crabby, and they really miss pizza, or they really miss carbs, or they really miss fat, or they really miss desserts. And they're like, why am I even doing this? So once again, getting to your goal body fat level, eating the food you like is the most important thing you're going to do in this program. But after, why wouldn't you use the thermic effective food to maintain? If I'm getting a 30% burn on protein more than I would on a carb or a fat, meaning if I eat 100 calories of that ribeye steak and I'm going to net out 70 calories because my body's going to use 30% of those calories to burn the protein, am I going to bump my protein? Yeah. Maybe even during the program a little bit, but don't dwell on it. I want you to be happy in an 8 to 10 mood meter. But if you think I'm not using thermic effective food, I do. I do have more of a high protein, maybe a 40%, 30-30 split. I hate to say that to everybody on here because all of a sudden everybody's like, oh my God, I got to look at what's he doing? Don't do that. Get in an 8 to 10 mood meter first, get your body fat off, and then go there later in your journey. All right, so working out, yeah, it's important. Thermic effective food, macronutrients, yeah, later. Much later. All right, but do these things as you're going through the program, but do them for the right reasons. And the right reasons are metabolism, the right reasons are strength and flexibility, the right reasons are you're feeling better. Go move, man. It's better than sitting on the couch. And you're going to put on more lean body mass later, so you might as well, let's maintain what I got. Let's not lose it, and let's kind of keep it rolling. All right. I don't know if I want to get into this part. 6. Number 6, getting cocky. Getting cocky as you lose this weight and all these pictures come out, and it happens all the time. I see it all the time. And you're like, oh man, I look amazing. Like I did a testimonial with a guy today. And he, like his first before picture, he's the crabbiest bastard you ever saw. His face is so crabby. And I was telling him that. I even said it in the testimonial, like, you were so crabby. And in the second picture, he's like all smiles and he's sporting a 6-pack. All right. So my cautionary advice to him is that it's awesome what you did. I love what you did, but we sometimes think we're smarter than we are. And we sometimes think that, we still don't know some of the right questions to ask, nor do we know what's coming up down the pipe. This is an ongoing life challenge for us. And if you didn't watch my Q&A on my issues with what my personal fitness issues are, I've been doing this a lot of years. I have my own issues. I highly recommend you go back to that Q&A and watch my confession to you about what I'm talking about this. All right. We just get lazy sometimes. We get fatigued. We get tired of crap. We think we know more than we do. Oh, I can start doing a little bit of samples at Costco and not counting them. I lost 42 pounds and I got a 6-pack now. I know what the heck I'm doing. I'm not going to track that anymore. I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to weigh once a week. I'm not going to do a water test. I don't need to do a water test. I don't really care about my non-eating window, and the non-eating window gets smaller and smaller. This is what happens. And then I talk to someone, they're like, I know what to do. I don't even say anything. They know exactly what to do. Bam, 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 bam. And they fix it. But almost everybody goes through this as they leave the program to kind of get rewired going, all right, dude, don't get cocky. This is a lifestyle. And most people can reel it in quick, which is why we have the 2-day rule. If you never violate yourself 2 days in a row, you're never going to have a problem. if you truly live by that, if you live by an ever expanding organic non-eating window, if you get by really understanding as you go through what are calories, how do I screw them up, how can I really screw them up, and how do they work in my body so I don't get derailed? All of these concepts that we're teaching you, flexibility, so that you can have like, oh my God, I'm not like feeling super restricted. I don't want to be restrictive right now. Maybe you're not even at your goal yet because you got 100 pounds to lose and you got your first 50 and you're like, you know what? I'm freaking tired of this. I got fatigue. What's wrong with maintaining for a few months and then coming back at it, refreshed and invigorated to go get the next 50? What's wrong with that? It took you a long time to get where you are right now. And we all want to be perfect and like, in 4 months, I got a six pack. 6 months, look at this. But I've been dealing with this for the last 22 years. I talked to some people, they're like, let me see, my late 20s and they're 60. I haven't seen my goal since my late 20s, okay? But they want it like that. So we need realistic ideas. We can't get cocky in this thing. We are human beings. We are going to err. We try to build these errors in up front so you guys can understand them and you can anticipate what you're going to experience on the exit to the program and even sometimes during the program. All right, Matt, you got anything you want to add? If you're busy, dude, don't say anything, but the cocky thing is so important. I see it all the time. I see it all, and then people come back and like, So Gilbert, I have a question for you. You've been out for a little bit. You've been through 2 programs. What do you want to say about the cocky part? Anything? Does this resonate at all, or is this not something that you deal with, or what? Gilbert's only been on Zooms for the last year, so he's going to figure this out. I promise you. He got cocky. He got cocky about a Zoom. Okay, he forgot how to put it back on.
Well, no, I who knows? No, I mean, I've enjoyed just not really watching. Just like you said, what just resonated with me is you work so hard at it and taking a break. And that's what I've been doing is I've just been taking a break. I have been watching, I have been counting. I mean, I still even fill out the spreadsheet. I've got it on the screen here. And I mean, I've got 1,822 calories. That's a little over my maintenance that Matt has me on, but I broke your 2-day rule there. But today, I'll probably be around 1,400 calories. And, and I know tomorrow I'll do the same thing, and Saturday, and then Sunday, I'm going to blow the hell out of it. So, but I know now that I can go in and I've got a target weight that I'm looking at. Well, I don't, the thing that Matt taught me, it's not so much about having a target weight. It's a target body shape, lose until you feel, you've lost the fat and you like where you're at. And I mean, I love that because then I'm not looking at numbers all the time. It's helpful, to kind of track, and it's motivating. But those pictures, they're worth more than 10 days a row of scale weighing because you can see it. And that's more exciting when you see the results that you get. And I mean, every morning during my morning prayer time, I've got Matt and Debbie, I have Justin, their son, and I have you on my prayer list right there together. And I thank God for you guys because you totally changed my life. I mean, I was in horrible shape, and I was mentally in horrible shape because I was horrible physical shape. And what you guys have taught me, I know now I can do anything. If I can handle my food, I mean, it's doable. You guys have given me the confidence to know that I won't go back to that size 48 sports coat I was wearing, where I'm at a 38 now. So it's crazy.
Bravo, dude. You did great. And, I want to reiterate what Gilbert's talking about. Maintenance. Let's go back to maintenance and flexibility. Like maybe you got a little extra fat, like on your belly, because you've been carrying it for 30 years. And feel like, why do I have this extra skin? Or I got this fat. Like, you know what? That's a flexibility portion where maybe you go into a slight caloric deficit, not what you did during the program, and you maintain that for 6 months, but it's at a higher TDEE, and it's just not as severe, and it's kind of like, and you're just chugging along at a slight caloric deficit, and all of a sudden 8 months from now, you look back and go, dang, I look pretty good, man. That's starting to go away. That little thing there that I can't get rid of is starting to go away. So these are the things we're talking about, and if you, and I don't know if anybody was on here early, but I got to bust your chops one more time, Gilbert. He did say, I walked a bunch of extra steps. He said it on here. And the walking the extra steps is for one thing. The walking the extra steps is for when you're in a caloric deficit, so you don't have a metabolic adjustment downward in your body and a reset on your TDEE. So with that being said, the only way for Gilbert to make up what he did when he defaced himself 2 days is less calories in the pie hole. For a period of time to make up, let's just say he had an extra 4,200 calories, he needs to go make those things up. And I'm talking above his TDEE. He needs to go make those calories up, and he'll be back to even, and then get into a slight deficit and he'll be just fine. So these are the fluctuations of how we go through life and how we go through when we get out of this program. And I just think thank you for sharing that, Gilbert, because it's so key. And truly, watch mine. Mine is embarrassing. I got on that Q&A to let you guys know that I'm not, trust me, we all deal with crap. All right. I have a stressful year here. I just have. I don't want to get into all that, but I haven't been what I need to be. And one of the things that works for me is confessing in front of a bunch of people that count on me. I've been a bad boy. I haven't been doing what I'm supposed to do. Learn from what I'm doing here. And I'm recommitting to you because it matters. He cares what I do. It is not okay for a lung doctor to smoke. It's not okay. Okay. So these are the things that keep Matt and I and Anthony in check. We have an obligation to you to show you this. And it's really not that hard to do, but it wasn't the easiest thing to sit here and confess to you all about some of my problems and what I do and what I deal with. So you know that you're not a bad person, but you know what? Get your crap together and know once again when you should have mercy on yourself and grace, and when should you kick yourself squarely in your own ass and fix something that you know you shouldn't be doing. Those are two different things. So it's not all about mercy, grace, everything feels great and whatever. No, you got 2 bad days in a row, kick your own ass. It's your fault. You deserve to have fat on your body. And I'm speaking to myself too, So anyway, any other questions about any of these topics? The topics, once again, daily weight fluctuations on the scale and the frustration. Don't be frustrated. Know what's going on. Number 2, eating when you're not hungry. Don't do that. Don't do that. During the program, you're going to learn what it feels like to have a craving versus a hunger, and those precious calories, you're going to want to save them for later. All right. Number 3, misunderstanding the water test. Don't strive with the water test. I don't care what your not eating window is. I care that your body starts speaking properly to you, which means insulin's at baseline a little longer every day. Ghrelin's at baseline a little longer every day. Leptin is at a high level a little longer every day, and then it becomes easier and easier and easier and easier. And all of a sudden, a 9 a.m. non-eating window turned into a 11 o'clock, turned into a 1 o'clock, turned into an 8 o'clock. There's times my wife doesn't eat all day. She used to be a 9 a.m. eater, and I'm not telling you to strive for that. She doesn't strive for those things. Her body's in tune to it now because she was consistent, not in an aggressive way, but in that water test. Every once in a while, little bit, the body helps you. Flexibility, build flexibility into your life and realize that you need flexibility, because without it, you're gonna have an event happen to you. We are not about events here. We are about lifestyle and making sure that when you leave this program, you are well equipped to not only maintain it yourself, but to help somebody else with this vital information that nobody talks about. Number 5, working out. What the heck is it? What isn't it? And number 6, don't get cocky. Don't get cocky because your before and after looks amazing and you haven't looked like this since you were in high school and you went to your 50th reunion and everybody goes, oh my God, you look so good. Well, all this crap goes to our head. And then all of a sudden we get, oh yeah, and you start believing the press. Don't believe the press. I'm here to bring the press to you to say that you're going to get cocky, you're going to derail, but you're going to know exactly what to do. And your derailment will not be a 50-pound derailment. It's going to be a 4 to 6 to 10-pound derailment when you go whack, smack yourself, and you come right back down to where you were because you're going to know what to do. That's a different story than derailing, gaining weight, not knowing how to stop the weight gain because you never truly understood how to get down to your goal in the first place. Those are 2 different things. Okay, so anything else, Matt? You want to add anything? Anybody else? Anything that you've been dealing with?
I want to confess something here, Chuck. Obviously, Debbie and I have been doing this for a long time. and we coach a lot of people, right? We deal with a lot of people in the program. And so I want to share something with you, how pervasive our thought process is and how even, I'm not going to use the word advanced. I'm going to use the word experienced I am at listening to my body. So before the Q&A, Debbie and I are sitting out on the back deck. Okay. And I asked Debbie, what do you want to do about dinner? And she said, I'm not really hungry. Are you? And I said, no, I'm really not. But we need to get something to eat. Why? Why? I mean, I'm throwing that out there because it is so pervasive in our mind.
We're gonna starve tonight.
Debbie just said, we're going to starve tonight, right? I mean, my stomach is not growling. I'm not hungry. But gosh, it's 8:30. We're going to be going to bed in another hour and a half. Oh my gosh, what am I going to, I haven't had dinner. And so, to your point, Chuck, we have these thought processes. And again, I've been doing this for a long time and I coach with a lot of people. And Debbie and I deal with this on a daily basis, but it is still something that crops up in our own mind, crops up in our own psyche. Oh my gosh, it's 8:30. I haven't had anything to eat. I'm going to go to bed hungry. No, I'm not, because I'm not hungry. I'm really not hungry. Well, if I'm not hungry, then why do I want to put calories in my mouth? So I just wanted to throw that out there, Chuck, just to your point, that it is such a mindset and listening to our body. It truly is. And we have so many preconceived notions about what it is that we do. So I just wanted to throw that out there. I thought that was pretty apropos.
Perfect. It's perfect. And you know what? So Matt's mind being more advanced in what he does. Here's the cool thing about Matt's mind. He's going to go, wait a minute. So let me see. It's 8:30. I'm going to go to bed at 11. I'm not even hungry. I'm going to get another 12 hours out of my post-absorptive range. I'm going to be burning fat. I'm going to make up for some stuff. I'm not hungry today, but tomorrow, if for some reason I am hungry, you know what? I just built in a little bit of a platform to be able to do a little bit more tomorrow. And then if he gets to tomorrow and he doesn't want it, he's just built it again for the next day. So these thought processes are thought processes we want to convey to you. All right, Matt, thank you for saying that, because that is so right on point for what we're talking about. So our whole job here is to get you accustomed to what are all of these strategies? How does my body physiologically truly work? What's the science behind it? And up here, what is this? This is way more important than all of it. And what Matt just talked about was up here. It wasn't down in his gut. He wasn't hungry. Psychologically, it's like, the devil's saying, well, Matt, you might want to eat, dude. You might want to eat, whatever it is. But those voices, eradicate them. Get rid of them and know that, wait a minute, we're not hungry. Chuck just talked about, the whole thing about eating when we're not hungry. Why do we do this? To pre-plan for later. We're going to bed. We're going to be starving. Or I have a meeting coming up at 5 o'clock. Oh my God, I might be hungry at that meeting. Oh my God, so what if you are? So what if Matt's hungry when he goes to bed? Too bad. He'll be hungry for about 15 minutes and he's going to go to bed, or he won't even really be hungry because he'll do a water test. Go, I'm not even hungry, man. I don't even want to eat. This is what we want to teach you to be in tune to your body. As you come in this program and as you leave this program, we want to give you reality of what you can expect. And we're here for you. We're always here for you. We're always, just to let you know, we never shut off these stupid boxers. We care about what you do later more than what you're doing in the program. Okay, we just do. And it's one thing to say it, but I'm telling you, there's way more at stake here than just a transformation photo to get a six-pack. We're talking people, lives have been changed, and it's when we get to do this, man. We're so blessed to be able to do this. And I'm so blessed that God put me through what he put me through in my 40s to be a unhealthy fat person that had back problems and sciatica issues and insulin issues and all kinds of crap, to kind of fix it and to come here and to be able to share that with everybody here. He had a plan back when I was 40 to do this, apparently. I don't know, but we get to do this. So we're just happy that you all said yes. Hopefully this was helpful to you. I think this is a good one to go back and watch again, because this is real. This is the real deal. These are concepts that seem simple, but someone said something to me yesterday and they're like, it's simple. Simple things are not easy to do sometimes. Simple, isn't it simple to say, well, if you need more money, spend less and make more? Like, what the hell's wrong with you? Go spend less and make more. That's a simple concept, right? Why is everybody having a problem? A little bit tougher than that. Okay, the concepts we teach are the same concept like that. So we want to give you the inside scoop on what we deal with and everything else so that you're equipped. And when you leave this program, you will have an arsenal of like the utility belt on Batman. You're going to be, okay, I'm doing what Chuck said. I've had not only 2 days, I've had 4 days off the rails. Let me go to my utility belt. Here we are. And this is what we do. And that's the whole point of the program, to build your utility belt. So when you screw up, which you will, because you're a human being, you're going to know exactly what to do to fix it, and pretty doggone quick. All right. So with that being said, I do have a call in 1 minute and I got to be on time for it. Okay. It's a new client. So I'll talk to you. I'm not going to do the 1, 2, 3. Any last questions quickly? Anything? All right. Ciao. Everybody have a good night. Thanks. Thanks for popping on.